Hey there, everybody. This is Dr. Samantha Sweeney, and this is Just for Fun Friday, your weekly dose of how to infuse diversity into your life and the life of your kids. I love this week's item. We haven't done an item like this in a while, and this one is particularly unique, so I'm really excited to share it with you. It's a toy, it's a doll. And actually, it's not just one doll, there are several different types of dolls, and I'm going to tell you more about them. So they're called Hope Toys, and they're also actually based in Australia, which is really, really cool. I'm going to tell you more about it. So in terms of the age range, it's a doll, it's a plastic doll. And so, I personally think that like younger kids are fine with these dolls, but there are some dolls that have some smaller parts. So if your child like puts everything in their mouth, then it's not a good idea to have it for them to play with necessarily. But if your child doesn't really put things in their mouth, or you just want to have the doll kind of on the shelf, and then when they're old enough they can play with it, that's fine too. But maybe 3 is a pretty good starting point. So let me tell you about the dolls themselves because they're really, really interesting and really, really cool. So the dolls are based on, they are kids with all different types of physical disabilities, and they're very, very visible. So it's not just like, this is this doll and she has this disability. You can actually see the disability on the child. So some of the children in kind of the series have walkers that they use, they have wheelchairs, or they have prosthetic legs. So you can actually see that they have disabilities. And the thing that I loved so much about this is that dolls themselves make things very real for kids, right? Children learn so much through play. They learn so much through kind of encountering different things in their environment and kind of making sense of them and putting them together. And just having dolls that are kind of able-bodied, allows your child to kind of create a world that isn't really representative of the actual population. There are lots of people out there with physical disabilities. Pretty much you can guarantee that at least one, even if there's not, someone at your child's school, which there may very well be, who has a physical disability, or somebody, that you're friends with that has a physical disability. There might be a friend's cousin or the person down the street or something like that that has these very visible disabilities. They're very much a part of our world, obviously, just like everybody else. And to have a doll that allows your child to infuse that into their play, I think is really, really special. So they can create these worlds and create these, interactions with people where part of that is working with people who maybe don't look like them, or don't have their bodies look different from them, but they can still play with them, right? Just because someone has a disability doesn't mean you can't play with them. You can't play games together. You can have fun together. I mean, it's very, very possible and real, and lots of people do. And so I think having that in a child's play is really, really special. So it's something that I hope you check out. So we rate all of our items on Just for Fun Friday on a scale of 0 to 5. This one is a 5. And part of the reason it's a 5 that I actually forgot to mention is that there are all different types of dolls. There's not just boys, there's not just girls, there's boys and girls, and then there's also people with lots of different skin colors. So they really represent different races and ethnicities. So if your friend down the street is black and has a prosthetic leg, they have a doll for that. If your friend down the street is white with brown, white girl with brown hair and she is in a wheelchair, they have a doll for that. So you can really buy these toys. Like if you or your child or someone has a disability, you can really buy a toy that actually represents them, that looks like them, which is just so, so special and so amazing for kids who just don't have that. You don't walk into most toy stores and see that. So to be able to have that is just so special for those particular children. But it's also really important for the able-bodied, children as well, that they have these dolls that, they can infuse into their play that look all have different skin tones and have different, physical disabilities, but are still very much a part of their world, our world here, in the real world, and their world in their play world. So I hope you head on over to the website, www.culturallycompetent kids.com, where you'll get a quick one-page guide of everything we just talked about today. So the age range, the different diversity themes, some questions and comments that you can ask your child as you're going along and playing with this, and maybe some activities and games you can do together, and also ways to continue the conversation. Because remember, even though it's important to have fun and to create these like play worlds where people have disabilities, it's also fun and important to keep going and to kind of infuse this into the real world, and people who actually have disabilities, and talking about that and talking about stigma, and having your child understand what that means, and so they can understand these things a little bit better. So I hope you head on over to the website. I hope you check out these toys, and I'll see you next week on another Just for Fun Friday. Thanks for joining us for another Just for Fun Friday. I hope that you enjoyed it and it inspired you to go out there this weekend and have even more fun with your kids. I've created something that I'm really excited to share with you and I think you're really going to love. I've compiled this amazing book list of all different diverse books. It has different characters, different storylines, and I think you're really going to love it. It's for kids of all ages, from babies, yes, babies, all the way up to young adults. So in order to get it, go to www.culturallycompetentkids.com. Sign up for the newsletter and it'll be sent straight to you right away, right to your inbox. You can use it for all sorts of things. You can use it for learning time, you can use it for literacy time, or just fun snuggle time with your kids. So sign up, enjoy it, and I'll see you next week for another Just for Fun Friday.